Blessings, blessings, you beautiful beings. What's today? Happy Mercury Day. Happy Mercury Day. Happy Mercury Day. Peace and love from the dimensions above. Alright. So I know it's an early live, but I have some things on my mind. That I would like to talk about. So, first things first. Can you all hear me? I'm gonna wait for more people to show up because Instagram doesn't tell people when I go live anymore. Instagram doesn't tell people when I go live anymore, so I'm gonna wait. I was actually gonna go live like earlier, like 6 a.m. 1 second, let me log in. You know, I'm so grateful for everybody that be showing up for these lives, because when it's a live like this, when I like truly just like feel a certain way, then I feel like these are like my best lives. What? A bird just came and flew right in my window. Hold on, let me log in 1 second. I got some information for y'all that I think you might find vital. Okay, so bear with me, y'all. Bear with me as I get set up. I would ask you, how did you sleep? But I already know, because we're in eclipse season. So chances are you probably didn't get much sleep. Klechko, welcome. Chances are you didn't get much sleep because we are in eclipse season. And today is an important day because it's the 18th of September. So what does that mean? That means that 9/18 is double 9. So it's a special day. I would look out for the headlines today. That just came to me. I didn't even think about that until just now. But let me look at the astrological alignment for today, just so I can see if there's anything to tell y'all. But the two things that I have on my mind now, this, I don't know if it's going to be triggering to anybody, but if you all would like to speak about this, the two things that I have on my mind are childhood abuse, because I feel like there are a lot of behavioral patterns that people exhibit that stem from childhood abuse and them never finding an outlet to heal that childhood abuse. And the other thing I want to talk about is sundown towns, because it's 2024 and I'm like, why do we still have sundown towns? And why are they still legal? Because there's no way that you should get up out of bed and hear about somebody that looks like you hanging from a tree, bro. In 2024? I don't even like guns. But listen, if I got a pew pew pew. Alright. So the reason why I'm going live so early today, blessings Willow. is because the moon moved into Aries while you all were sleeping. The moon moved into Aries while you all were sleeping. Okay? Now, keep your eyes on Kanye West. That's the first thing I'm going to say before any headlines appear. I hope nothing happens to our good brother Kanye West. I hope nothing happens to our good brother Kanye West. But his chart is concerning me. His chart is concerning me. So, Emily, good to see you. Keep your eyes on Kanye West and send Kanye your good energy, because his chart is not looking. Even though he's in his Jupiter return, it's just not looking. Let's keep our good brothers in our. Okay. Actually, let me look at his chart for today, because it's the 18th and he got Mars conjuncting his ascendant at 18 degrees. Today's a tough day for Kanye. There's gonna be some hostility headed his way. Anyway, let's stay focused. So, the two things I want to talk about would be unhealed childhood trauma and or sundown towns. Now, if none of those things sound interesting to you, if it's too early and you just want to talk about astrology, let me know. Which direction would you all like to go? You want to keep it, you want to talk about astrology and it's, metaphysical things today? Or do you want to tap into unhealed childhood trauma in sundown towns? Why is this bird staring at me? Let me know. And if there is anybody here, unhealed childhood trauma, okay? So, man, this is a deep topic. One that requires like the utmost, sincerest. Okay. All right. So, let me preface this talk by saying the intention of this talk. Actually, one second. Let me change my VPN before we get into it. Okay. So, let me preface this by saying the intention of this talk is to learn about behavioral patterns that are connected to unhealed childhood trauma. Okay? The intention is not to trigger anybody. The intention is not to ignore anybody. So if there's anybody here that deals with unhealed childhood trauma and you would like to come up and talk about your experiences, the floor is yours. Okay? The impact I hope this will have would be to give people a small framework to work upon, to build upon, to deal with maybe some childhood trauma that you are dealing with. Why did I choose to do this so early? This is a heavy topic to be so early. Maybe we should have stuck to astrology. Yeah, okay. So, I said what I need to say about Kanye. Keep your eyes on Kanye. And his partner's coming up in his reading, Bianca. Anyway, okay. So, Y'all ignore my messy apartment. I got shit everywhere. My apartment is like my mind. Okay. All right. So, unhealed childhood trauma, especially. Is there a way that I can like position myself where I don't have to show y'all so much of my background? Damn. You're looking at a neurodivergent apartment. Don't judge me. Alright, maybe I should move this closer so I won't see my background. Anyway. I feel like, especially in the communities where therapy and counseling, when therapy and counseling is like, it's not promoted. And I can tell you, in the communities of indigenous Americans, meaning what you call like African Americans, even though I despise that term, African Americans, I despise it. I think it should be eradicated like today. Anyway, indigenous peoples of America, meaning my ancestors and people that look like me, counseling is not promoted in our community. And my professor last night told me that, you know, like even the field, like the counseling field is overpopulated saturated with like white women. And it's because one, women are seen like more nurturing, and white women because they are like in their communities like advocates for mental health counseling. One second, my music just stopped and I need to figure out why. Oh, so I need to turn on Spotify because this is going to keep stopping. One second, y'all. I have to have music in the background. It's like literally part of my makeup. All right. Music is like my magnesium. It chills my nervous system. That's why I don't hang around a lot of people, because my nervous system is picky. It's not really comfortable around a lot of people, you know? So unhealed childhood trauma stemming from like childhood abuse, I feel like it's one of the most untapped topics. We aren't African, that's why I don't care for the term. Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go African Americans, you automatically give it like you're identifying who they are without asking who they are. Because if you like, sorry, y'all, I don't know, my phone's tripping. So it's like you are giving people see, I'm glad we have to have this talk, because I despise the term Aboriginal as well. Indigenous is the term that I prefer. Indigenous and native, because we're native to this land. Because if you like, why are we given the term African Americans, but people that, occupy this land with us, they're not called European Americans, because there's proof of them coming to America on boats, and we were already here. So we're the natives, but we're called African American. And I've done the research. If you look at my lecture, Lost History, I've proven that we are from this land. My ancestors are from this land. My land in Florida, hundreds of years. Like, I have underground caves going to like caverns on my land, filled with Native American pottery on my land from my ancestors. My family was in the Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? So like, how many generations do you have to go back before you are considered native? So anyway, I digress because that's a whole different topic. Anyway, the topic at hand is unhealed childhood trauma. Oh, let me expand on the Aboriginal. The reason why I don't say Aboriginal, because ab is distancing you from something. Like normal, abnormal, like absence. So I don't like ab. It's taking you away from the term. Anyway. So Aboriginal is like saying you're not from this land. All right. So unhealed childhood trauma stemming from sexual abuse, I feel, is one of the most untapped topics in my community, but it's one of the topics that really needs to be unpacked, because the future implications of childhood trauma, it's directly tied to one's life trajectory. There are a lot of women, and I'm only saying this because I am like, I'm in the field right now to become a licensed counselor, a licensed therapist, right? So it's my like understanding the brain, understanding why people do things. It's in my world of immediate concerns. Okay, so I just wanted to lay that groundwork to set the intention. So there are a lot of women who are touched inappropriately by their uncles, by their fathers, by their grandfathers, even like men above them who are in their mind their protectors. So what happens when a woman is inappropriately touched by stepfathers? Exactly. Stepfathers is one of the biggest ones. Oh my God. I'm so glad you said that, Emily. Stepfathers is probably one of the biggest perpetrators of this, okay? Because they don't see the daughter as their blood. So, and for a stepfather, it gives them more of in their mind, like a right to touch that. Oh my God, cousins too. Oh shit. My heart goes out to anybody here that is a victim of childhood abuse, and oftentimes we invalidate our own experience, saying like, oh, it felt good to me, so that wasn't abuse, or did I consent, or you were too young to consent. Hello? If they were 18 and like you were 12, if maybe it did feel good to you because that's how the body is, pleasure centers, but it was wrong. It was wrong. Okay? So we often invalidate our own experiences. Okay? For men, a lot of men are touched by their stepmothers, by their cousins, by their babysitters, right? And the reason why I feel the numbers are inaccurate when it comes to the demographics that are experiencing this is because men are more likely to keep their experiences, like they won't disclose when they have been, oh yeah, men by other men is a huge one. So what are the implications of this? And it's even worse when you're a young man or woman and you just been abused by both, by men and women. Right? So what does this do? This shapes your behavioral patterns. Right? One of the biggest one of the biggest effects from this cause is homosexuality. Right? Probably more for women than men, because the women, they can't trust the men who were put into their lives to become their protectors, so therefore they don't trust men at all, and they seek their comfort in women because their mother didn't do them wrong, their sisters didn't do them wrong, their aunties didn't do them wrong, and they become not generalizing everybody, but from my own research and my own experiences, okay, I see that the women who have been seriously abused, they become more of the women who start to embody men characteristics because they want to become the man that they never had. It's deep. It's like extremely deep, especially if taking this to astrological perspective, because when somebody gives me their chart, sexual abuse is something that I can see immediately. Okay? Another thing I do, I don't know why, maybe it's because I'm a Scorpio rising, it's like I can see when people are gonna die in their chart. Anyway, why do I say that? But so you can see sexual abuse in the chart. One of the biggest indicators of sexual abuse in somebody's chart is having Chiron in your 8th house, especially if your Chiron is conjunct your moon, or like when I say conjunct, I mean if your Chiron is conjunct your moon with less than an orb of 3. That is the biggest indicator. If your Chiron is conjunct your moon or your Venus less than an orb of 3 in your 8th house, I know for a fact you have been abused. I have this placement, so trust me, I'm only speaking from a place where I can truly empathize because I've been there. Okay? This shit ain't easy to talk about, especially as a man, alright? But I don't know why, like last night, something told me, you're going to have to rise up out of bed and talk about this. And I was like, no, go away, I'm not going to talk about that. Now, luckily, in my own life, I've been able to, like, this is why I say it's a bit different for men and women, because I have been able to have beautiful connections with women. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I can tell you it's a main contributor to why I'm not married right now. And a lot of people who are my age that are still single, whether they know it or not, childhood abuse plays a part in that. What the hell? That's weird. But the only thing that I know for sure, that the main area in my relationships, especially my ex-girlfriend, trust is the biggest thing. Like, it really fucks with your trust and your, like, your ability to like fully connect with somebody and feel comfortable around somebody. This is a small reason why I want separate rooms. Like, having separate rooms with the woman that I end up with is non-negotiable. We can have sleepovers, but I need my own room. I need my own sense of comfort. I need to be able to control my comfort. And controlling your comfort is a result of being sexually abused or like some type of abuse in your childhood. Okay? Now, this is especially true for young children who older people find like cute or attractive, right? It's like, yeah, they're cute or attractive, but you don't have to touch them. Hands off, you know? But this is why I like the children that get into the entertainment industry who are considered, attractive. They go through it, and you can see a lot of them when they get older. Like, they become a lot of them actually have meltdowns right in front of us, because they're still abused in the industry. Like, dealing with childhood abuse and growing up still dealing with abuse, that could give you a condition. Again, if there's anybody here who wants to come up and talk about your experiences, you are more than welcome. Justin Bieber, I watched a crazy video of adults touching him and being creepy. Exactly. Justin Bieber, he was touched. Y'all on the same wave. I saw that interview when Justin Bieber was crying because he said he didn't want Billie Eilish to go through the same thing that he went through, right? And Billie Eilish, isn't she now saying that she's gay? Watch the patterns. They're patterns. People that are great at pattern recognition, like if you have a dominant, like a prominent palace placement, you're great at pattern recognition. So people that are great at pattern recognitions, you can start to notice like, oh, that is connected. That is a result of this, right? And the only reason why I feel like this topic is so important is because CPS and the adoption system, I feel like a lot of those children are the forgotten children. Meaning that they go from home to home to home, like the foster care systems, and they are subjected to who knows what. They go from foster parent to foster parent to foster parent. What if they were abused at every single different house that they went to in the foster care system? Especially melanated bodies who are just seen as sex objects. It's like the reason why. Let's talk about two things that are connected. Look at Nicki Minaj. Look at Sexy Red. Look at I don't really know the artists because I only listen to classical music. Any of the artists that are out right now, look at how they're promoted. They're usually on the cover with bending over with their ass out with the G-string, titties showing, like all of this stuff, right? It's pretty much Playboy. They're selling themselves. And then young children, little girls see this and they're like, I want to be like Nicki Minaj, right? And so you got little girls who are like Megan Thee Stallion. There we go. Don't get me started. Side note, do y'all know why Tory Lanez is in jail? His name is Daystar. This Daystar means the sun. Like, it's a story of Lucifer. Anyway, let me I'll get back to that another day. So, because I will forget what I'm going to say. But the way that women are, like, promoted, little girls see that and they want to be like them. And then you got little girls in Walmart that are, 10 years old wearing Daisy Dukes. Do people still call them Daisy Dukes? I'm dating myself. I'm dating my short shorts. We used to call them Daisy Dukes when I was growing up in the 90s. I was born in 85. Anyway, so you got little girls who are 10 years old, you know, wearing Daisy Dukes at like Walmart and stuff. I saw this the other day and I was like, what the? I looked at the parent like, what is wrong with you? You're pretty much advertising your little girl. Like there's no, and I'm not trying to like say how I would treat my daughter should be the way that everybody should treat their daughter. Let me put that out. But I just don't think a little girl should be sexualizing herself in that way. Go play with dirt. Go climb in a tree. What's 4 plus 4? You don't know? Spanking. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about, advertising yourself in that way. Like, I don't even want to hear you come home and say you got a boyfriend. Like, what are your grades looking like? So, the problem starts with the parents. Because, one, the other day I saw a child walking home by himself. I looked around, no parents were home, and yeah, maybe he lived like right across the street from his school. But that's all it takes for people to snatch your child these days. What does that mean? Telekinesis? Are you talking about telekinesis? Your brain's like, that's what he's talking about, boy. Chapstick and Vaseline only at 4, and everything else you play with inside the home. Yeah. Like, it starts with the parents. Good parenting. And the reason why I feel parenting is becoming a lost art is because people are becoming more promiscuous. And promiscuity it enhances the foster care system. What do I mean by that? It means that you can go out, have all the sex you want, and then, oops, I got pregnant. I don't got to keep it though. Let me give away this child to somebody else. Let it be their problem. And then you don't even know, you just put a child in a situation where the first moments of their life, they didn't have a mom to connect to. And then they're going to spend the rest of their life searching for comfort and people that can't truly give them comfort because they're not the same blood. So I truly wish the foster care system was destroyed today. And if you can't have a baby, don't have sex. Period. Even if you aren't planning to having a baby, knowing when you are penetrated as a woman and when you penetrate a woman, a child is part of that equation. It can happen or it can't happen, but be ready for it to happen. If you're not ready for that, don't have sex. Andrew Tate needs to be all your daddies? Oh, I think you're a troller. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me block. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to block him. I was like, usually I give people a chance, but once I see like 3 strange messages, I'm like, okay, you are a disruptor. Blessings, Mar. So, what we're talking about is serious, okay? I know it's kind of early to be serious, but seriousness doesn't have a time frame. But this topic is important because when men and women have unprotected sex and having sex irresponsibly and they give their children away to the foster care system, that foster care system, they aren't watching closely every childhood experience, right? And so those childs are subjected to abuse, sexual abuse, and then they grow up not finding ways to heal that abuse, right? Because for one, you're in the foster care system, so you can't afford, most cases, you can't afford mental health services. Mental health services in a foster care system should be synonymous. Your family just abandoned you. You need our services. Like, how is your mindset? Instead, what's happening is your family just abandoned you. We're going to send you to this random ass family. Oh, it didn't work out. That's okay. Maybe you're the problem. Let me send you to another family. So my heart goes out to any child that's in the foster care system. If you're a product of the foster care system, I know that light is not shed on your experiences enough, right? And I don't have enough of a proficient background to really dive into the inner depths of the foster care system, but just know that I empathize with you based off of my own experiences and having friends in that, in that system. We need to, I feel like we are in a time where we need to like take a step back and be like, y'all, we need like a town hall, like a huge millennial town hall. Because the reason I say millennial town hall is because the generation above us, Generation X, they're on their way out. The baton is being, golden tongue, I haven't seen you in a while, blessings. The baton is being passed to us. We are now setting the trends for the Gen Z, for the Gen Alphas, for the generations that come after them. Generation Bravo, right? Or Generation Beta, probably. Not Alpha, Beta, Generation Beta. They're looking at millennials, and when I turn on a computer, I'm seeing millennials at the club, shaking a sexy red. You don't really, like, when you were younger, at least when I was younger, I appreciate that. Oh, wow, that just made my golden time. You just literally just gave me, like, goosebumps all over. Wow. But when I was younger, at least parents were good at tricking you, and the older generations were good at tricking you, thinking that they had things figured out, because they acted a bit more mature, because they were a product of growing up in the 60s and the 70s. So their freedoms were a bit more restricted, so they had to be serious. So in our minds as millennials growing up, we're like, shit, our parents really got to figure it out, right? No. And then you get older, like, oh shit, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just doing the best in the situation that they had, right? And I'm not a parent yet, because I do want children in this life. It is meant for me to have them. I'm not gonna tell you all about my natal chart, but yeah, I think I'll be a great dad. But now when you turn on like TikTok, Facebook, you don't really see the same nurturing quality given to children as you did back in the day. Now I see parents see that their children are a way to make money, so they'll create like an Instagram page or a TikTok page for their 3-year-old, because they see that people like seeing videos of their 3-year-old. Look at your followers. Why are most of your followers men in their 40s and 50s watching your little baby? Hello? So, we need to be better protectors of the youth. We need to be better advocates for the daily maintenance of your mental health. Because, okay, imagine I am the young age of 39, right? I'm 39. And seeing a young man that looks like me hanging from a tree, whether I admit it or not, it does something to my mental health. So imagine younger children, little boys and girls, hearing that slavery was a thing of the past, that our ancestors used to deal with these things in the past, but wait a minute, here in 2024, we're still dealing with these things today. So you mean to tell me I have to deal with childhood abuse, people hanging from trees, being in the foster care system, my family, like all these things that people are dealing with at once, and nobody's asking, are you okay? Are you're just sending them off to school, you're ignoring their wants, you're not seeing the signs that your child might harm themselves, that your child might, they're thinking about doing these certain things. And the reason that you aren't seeing the signs, because I feel like parenting is becoming a lost art. And again, I'm not a parent, so I'm not proficient enough in this area to even truly talk about this. If I'm calling my own self out, all right, I don't really have the background to talk about being a parent, but I did raise my little sister and change her diapers, right? And she's in high school right now. So I like, in low key, I like, I kind of parent her like I would parent, my child. But let me reel this back in. So we are going to be in a time where for the next 20 years, the reason why I'm talking about this, and trust me, what I'm talking about now is going to be one of the main topics in the year, let's see, not 2026, that's major death, mental health. No, I'm sorry, 2025 is major deaths, mental health, war. 2026 is big business, tribes, right? Airplanes, 2027. So I would say 2028, 2029, and 2030. So what I'm saying right now is going to be like the main topic in 2030, right? But even with like before 2030, when Mars goes through prominent placements, because actually even before 2030, you're going to start to, you're hearing it now. I'm talking about it, right? Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring this out, because Pluto deals with like the unseen. Pluto deals with like the hidden work that you do on yourself that nobody else sees, right? Your hidden values, your hidden morals, your hidden comfort, because Pluto, Scorpio, is opposing Taurus, right? So what does that mean? Taurus is more of your public comfort, your public values. Pluto and Scorpio is your hidden values. So when Pluto is in Aquarius for the next 20 years, sexual abuse, sex, prostitution, sexually transmitted diseases, all of these things are going to be the main topics for the next 20 years, especially virtual reality and sex. Those things are damn near going to be synonymous. Like, the reason why I'm saying right now is so important, because I really got to go to the bathroom. I've been drinking this water, and I don't want to end this lot. Well, I actually don't want y'all to see my background either, because I just got stuff everywhere. Like, I just moved in here, not even 2 months ago. And like I said, anyway, my Pluto's in Scorpio. My Pluto's also in Scorpio, in my first house. I got Pluto and Saturn in my first house, y'all. Can I see the contract I signed again to get in here? Okay, we're on the same Ladera. I was about to say the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna put my phone facing up, y'all. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all listen to some music. I think y'all really care about me because y'all say the same thing. Alright, so we can totally keep up with the limited data and
5G network. All for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. The best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A54 5G when you switch to the Total 5G Plus Unlimited plan. And with the Total Wireless store right off West 60th Street in Hialeah, it's easier to switch. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual fees may vary by location. For data management practices, see totalwireless.com.
Hold up, you're buying a car on your phone? Isn't that more of a laptop thing?
You can shop whatever you want. Carvana makes it super convenient.
They have thousands of options. How'd you decide on that truck?
Because I like it.
Oh, here's a great reason. Go to Carvana.com and buy your car the convenient way.
I'm gonna grab some sage, y'all. 1 second. I'm gonna grab some sage to reset the room. 1 second. Whoa. Okay. Repeat after me. I am love. I am peace. I am joy. I am abundant. I am protected. I am protected. I am protected. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let me go put this out. Actually, I'll just put it out here. Like I said, I want y'all to see my background. I got stuff everywhere. I got herbs all over my floor, y'all. Herbs and books all over my floor. Don't judge me. Okay. So now that we have some sage and we've been able to reset the room a bit, let's continue to talk about this. Actually, maybe you all have heard enough about childhood trauma and abuse so far, you know? Like, I don't want to keep, you know. But let me just end with saying this. One of the main reasons why, and y'all know how I feel about school and the whole system of school, and I can't really stand school, but the only reason why I'm back in school to get my master's to become a counselor, a therapist, is because I really see that we need it, badly. And of course, I want to introduce this new field of astrotherapy. I've never heard of it, but I want to introduce astrotherapy, meaning like I want to help people from an astrological perspective and how that's connected to like mental health. But we need us, people that are here right now, you need to find ways to channel this energy. So what I would say is journal. Journal often, because oftentimes, like, especially if, now here I want to talk to a very special group of people, and it might be all of y'all, but I am the black sheep of my family. I'm the scapegoat of my family. Like, I don't, I don't really have the connection with my family that other people have with their family, right? I'm like the outcast. I feel other than, right? I'm not really accepted like my siblings, right? And it took me a while to actually come to terms with this. But as I get older and I'm seeing how I'm like outcasted, how I'm not included in these conversations, not only does it hurt, but it's like, damn, like, y'all supposed to be my sisters, my mom. And I think the biggest thing is it's where you start to tell your own self, like, false, like, no, they love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at their actions. Actions will always show you what words simply can't, because people won't tell you how they feel you, but they will always treat you how they feel about you. And look, I'm not saying this, I don't want no sympathy, nothing, because everybody here, like, I just say, a lot of y'all say, like, me, right? So we're all dealing with this. So we need to find healthy ways of channeling this energy, because as a young child, I got into psychedelics early. I took ecstasy before I even smoked weed. I was trying to find ways of love because I didn't feel accepted, And I'm the outcast, but I'm also the family oracle. They call me to cleanse their bones and interpret their dreams. I can relate to that. A lot of us we seek comfort in drugs. We seek comfort in self-harm. Hello? I'm gonna switch lanes here. But we're all on this ride, so hold on to the handlebars, because we're gonna keep riding. And again, if anybody's here and you want to jump on stage, I want to give you light. If anybody's here and you want to talk about your experiences, I will shut up and let you speak, because this is about all of us, not just me, okay? That's actually why I do these lives, to promote your voices, right? I know what I sound like. I talk to myself all the time. But a lot of us, so being sexually abused or just dealing with childhood trauma in general, and this is where I'm going to switch lanes here. A lot of the times, we find or even if, let's say, you didn't deal with abuse, or let's say you had the unfortunate experience of dealing with abuse and being the outcast of your family, so you're both, right? You're going to eventually start to find ways to, blessings, Lily, you're going to eventually start to find ways of, somebody said it earlier, escapism. Especially if you got Neptune in your first house, or if you got prominent Neptune placements. And right now, Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, so people are really trying to tap into them drugs, right? The reason why this is so important now is because of we are in the middle of eclipse season. We're in the middle of one of the most important eclipse seasons like that we've been through in a while. In this eclipse, Juno is going to be at the 18th degree. Vesta is going to be at the 18th degree. Oh my God. But I'll talk about that hopefully in another time before the eclipse. But let me stay on topic. So when you are a young scapegoat of your family, when you are the black sheep, the outcast, oftentimes the thing that isn't spoken is that's often connected to this idea of being like the chosen one, or being like, oftentimes why do certain people have harder times than others? Your calling is different. Your calling is different, so it's not going to be easy. If your calling was easy, your life would be easy. But if your calling is hard, unfortunately, your life might be hard. So usually people who have bigger callings, you're put in certain situations so you can build up your armor, so you can become strong. And sometimes the source energy has this weird way of putting you in situations where you experience tough love, right? This is especially true, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Scorpio rising, but this is especially true for my Scorpio risings, number one Scorpio risings, because when people look at you, the first thing they see is sex. It's like, bro, see my personality. Stop sexualizing me, okay? So the first thing for Scorpio rising growing up as a child, the first thing people see is when you're a child is, ooh, sex. Let me touch them. Hands off, creep, right? Scorpio moons and Scorpio suns. Y'all really deal with sexual abuse the most. And Scorpio risings because you have Scorpio in your first house. So it's literally what people see when they see you. I just wanted to put that out there, okay? So this idea of being the one in your... Why do y'all believe it is? And this is where I want to... Class participation. And again, I'm going to invite y'all up to the stage again. Come up to the stage. Listen, Rachel, I'm a Scorpio rising with Pluto in my first house. Oh my God, somebody say a prayer. I got it both. I am Pluto and I'm Scorpio. Anyway, so imagine having both in your first house. That's why I can speak about this. And I got Saturn conjunct my ascendant. And my Pluto's conjunct Vesta at the 0 degree. Like, can I see the contract I signed to get in here? Anyway. So let me stick on topic. So the reason why this is important, why do you all believe that certain people, today is my birthday, please read me. Today is your... Damn, I gotta plug in my phone. One second. Gotta use an extension cord. Let me get creative because I don't want to end this live. One second, y'all. I'm gonna put this phone down. Y'all, please don't forget what I was talking about, because y'all know I will. Y'all know I will. So somebody remember what I was talking about, because my brain ain't set up like that. It's probably those drugs I did as a young teenager. Happy solar return. Happy solar return. First of all, so today is, what's today's date? The 18th. Oh, okay, so you're today. Wait, what's today's date? I'm sorry. So you are pretty used to this energy because you have a high degree. Do me a favor, and I don't do free readings anymore, even if it's your solar return, because I'm a Taurus North Node, so I have to get paid for every service. But maybe I can give you a special discount code, because the only thing that I can tell you about your birthday is, actually, I'm not going to even say that, because let's just say being born on the 18th of any month is an indication of something. But I realized the other day that not everyone wants to hear the truth, especially my truth, because I'm like, are you sure you want to hear what I got to say? And then I have no filter. People that have been with me, they know. It's like, I ask you that for a reason, because I don't know how to filter my words. Anyway, let me stay on topic. So, why do you all believe that is? Why do you believe that certain people go through the hardest times? Like, why do people end up being the scapegoat of the family? One second. One more time, y'all. One more time. I turned off my fan, and now I'm hot. Oh, and I just spilled my water. Oh my God. Okay. Man, could y'all imagine hanging out with me in real life? I'm this awkward. I'm this bizarre in real life. All right. All right. Let me pull a card for y'all today. So, let me read y'all comments, because y'all, what y'all are saying is really important. Scorpios rule the genitals. Do you think that's why Scorpios have those issues? It depends on what issue you're talking about. It also depends on the attributes that come with being a Scorpio. I love talking to y'all. I really do. I consider y'all my friends, even though if y'all don't call me your friend, because I don't really have like friends in real life. Like not even one, you know. Because our families are conditioned and we break free of it, so we are viewed as crazy. What we go through is meant for us, part of our path. Coal can be burned in place for whichever purpose, or if it makes it. Well, actually, I have a whole tribe online, but like we never met in real life, you know. So I don't have like real life friends. Thank you everyone for the birthday wishes, blessings. Brittany, blessings. Good to see you. Okay. What message do we have for the collective today? Reveal a message. Ooh, the energy is good today. But Mars being at the 8th degree today makes me worried. Let's hope that today you don't hear about any news of people losing their lives, right? Or somebody losing their life. Returning home. It's funny, I just mentioned 8, and this is, the card number is 35, which in numerology is 8, and that's a Scorpio number. Returning home. That, for me, pulling this card means home is what you make it. Home can be the inside. Like, you can be without home and still not be homeless. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So, y'all know I'm going to take it to astrology, so just let me go there real quick. Now, do we have control over the course of our lives? Our lives are controlled by mysterious encounters with people that we call strangers, but really are like soul navigators. Even the people that you consider to be like, NPCs, they play a major role in keeping you on the right path. Like, a lot of these soul encounters that we have with people that we are remembering in this life are special because, for one, there are no chance encounters, and those encounters are not often seen. Those encounters are seen in your natal chart. So, let's say, for example, right? If you have Chiron at the 8th degree in the 4th house, and you're in your 4th house year, chances are, or like at the 18th degree or the 22nd degree or the 20th degree, chances are somebody in your family will pass away inevitably during that year. It's almost the same as having Jupiter in your 8th house, and you're in your 8th house year, and you're trying to figure out why people keep giving you money. I truly wish that mystery schools were for everyone. Because if mystery schools were for everyone, when I say like, hey, what's your sign? You wouldn't be telling me your sun sign. You would be telling me your ascendant sign, because you know your ascendant sign is your real sign. But a lot of people are lost in the sauce, and they think that their real, like their sign that makes all of them is their sun sign. So I said like, hey, what's your sign? Oh, I'm a Cancer. Your sun is Cancer. What's your ascendant sign? Because that's the real you, right? The ancients knew that. And so the reason why a lot of people go through these journeys in life is because it's part of your destiny. They are fated experiences. Right, Brittany? Same. We're both Cancer Sun, Scorpio risings. But it's that Scorpio rising that has the largest pool. Why does my music keep stopping? I'm sorry, 1 second. DJ, you're fired. So, let me get back to this. Let's talk about. I can go in so many directions with this. Let's bring it back to the chosen ones. So, there are certain charts that I look at where I look at where I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it. If anybody just bought a reading from me, I'm gonna give you the same love I give everybody. But let me just say, there are certain charts that I see where I'm like, where I can see the person doesn't even know who they are, and you're like a full blown superhero. Or let's say like I see a chart where somebody has and this is where reading children's charts it's the hardest, because let's say you read a chart of a child. Like I saw my nephew's chart, and part of me wish I didn't, because your nephew chart also has, or my nephew's chart has like the fate of my sister and my brother-in-law as well. Even though they don't like me, but when you see a child's chart, you see a bunch of experiences that they haven't went through yet, and you as the reader, or you like just as the elder in that situation, you want to protect them, but you can't control fate, because that would mess with your own karma. So when I say like, let me say this: are people programmed to be outcast? Or not programmed? Let me reword that. Let me rephrase that. Are people fated, destined to be outcast? Blessings, Jamie. Are people fated to be the black sheep? You can see it in a chart. You can definitely see it in a chart. So, bringing this back to what we were talking about earlier, when people, and I'm not going to fully bring this back in because that's a heavy topic. We already talked about it, at like 7 something this rising. But sexual abuse, childhood abuse, yes, I can also see that in your chart. Like we said earlier, having Chiron in your 8th house, having Chiron conjunct your moon, having Chiron conjunct Mercury in your 8th house, even in your 4th house, yeah, chances are, or if you, let's say you have Chiron in your 8th house and you have the moon in your 4th house and they're squaring, same thing. So there are certain placements where you can see it in somebody's chart where they're going to deal with sexual abuse. So bringing it back to the question I asked like an hour ago, are we like, why do people go through these experiences? It's because there is a part of your current incarnation's life mission that is connected to experiences that you went through in the past. Maybe you were a sexual abuser in the past. Maybe you took control of people in the past. Maybe whatever things that you dealt with in the past, you were creating a lesson for the future. We go to school for things we don't understand. We're in earth school. In your last life, you didn't understand that. In this life, you will have lessons so that it becomes apparent in your consciousness. What goes around comes around. If you were the abuser, you will be abused. If you tell somebody, hey, fuck you, chances are before you go to sleep, somebody's going to say the same thing to you. Because karma is speeding up as time speeds up. But let's say long karma is these life situations that play out, the betrayals that come through. And the reason why, like, situations that are fated. Oh wait, what's the question? Oh Lord, I didn't see your question, Golden Tongue. I'm sorry, I was just talking. I need to start reading maybe I should start having a moderator in here, because I really don't be looking at the things sometimes. And again, if anybody's here, you want to come up on stage, feel free. But okay. So, for example, let's say like there was somebody in here, you wanted to be a family therapist, right? And you wanted to work with the dynamics of the family. What I would strongly suggest you to do would be to bring out the synastry charts of each family member and their connections. Because when you want to know, like, the relationship you have with your mom, like, why do I have my relationship with this mom? Or not with this, why do I have this relationship with my mom? Why doesn't my dad like me? Like, not me, my dad, like, that's my dude, that's my homie, right? But like, why doesn't what your relationships that you have with your siblings, y'all let me know if that music is too loud, your parents and everything, those can be seen in a synastry chart, right? Let's say even if you just had a child, like your child can be a month years old, right? Or they can literally be like 5 minutes years old, 5 minutes, like just born. The moment your child is conceived and you have their birth time, like they can be 2 minutes out of the womb. You can have an astrologer there breaking down their entire life from the moment that they are 2 minutes years of age to 100 years of age. How is that possible if our life isn't already written, if our experiences aren't destined? Hello? Am I calling collect? Can y'all hear me? So, yeah, like sexual abuse, childhood abuse, betrayals, being the outcast. Exactly, Golden Tongue, is written in the stars, literally. Like, I have to express this. All you are, like, your energetic resonance frequency of a soul identity that's being held together by vibration. And the only reason you have the look that you have is because the moment you were born, the stars were at certain degrees, certain positions that literally gave you the face and the body that you have. The reason why you have big feet is because Jupiter was in Pisces the moment you were born. So your avatar is literally like a computer going print, and then wherever the stars were, the millisecond you were born is the printout of your body. That is literally how your avatar is created, by sound, by vibrations, longitudinal waves. That's why your location is longitude, where you were born. Crystal lattices, latitude. So if the stars can make up your body, they make up your experiences. That's why the stars literally make up how you think. For example, if you have somebody with their moon and Mercury in Scorpio, they're going to be a porn star. Especially if Saturn is also in Scorpio. I'm lucky I don't have that. I got Saturn in Scorpio, but I've got the other ones. I know my Pluto's in Scorpio, but I'm not a porn star. I couldn't even do it. I couldn't do it. Right? Cut! You know. So, yes. Astro Dick, really? Wow. My Pluto and Lilith is in Scorpio. Oh, yo, Lilith is in Scorpio? Oh my God. My Lilith is in Taurus, so we're literally the opposite. My Lilith is in Taurus. We're literally the opposite. Y'all crack me up, man. Y'all crack me up. So, when we talk about the connections that we have with people, the relationships that we have with people, I wish there were more synastry readers. There are not enough synastry readers around. We have, of course, a lot of astrologers, but we don't have a lot of synastry readers. What does that mean? People that you can go to saying like, hey, I just got into this relationship. I'm dating this person. Are they good for me? Oh my God, do you know how much time that would save you? Imagine you go through 2 years with somebody that's not even detoured. But then again, was that experience faded? I mean, I can give y'all things to look out for, but I don't want to break up no relationships up in here. I don't want to break up no relationships. There are certain placements that, like, when I see, I'm like, oh, you dead ass got your twin flame in your midst. And it's rare that people actually find their twin flames. Right? But believe it or not, there are a lot of people who wonder all the time, is this my twin flame? What do you mean is that your twin flame? You haven't even went through enough soulmate trials to meet your twin flame. Go through 2 more soulmate trials, and then you'll probably meet your twin flame. But if you haven't passed the lessons in your soulmate trials, you're not going to meet your twin flame, because your soulmates were there to test you, to prepare you. Do you offer personal readings? If so, how much? Oh yeah, so I offer personal readings. You can go to astro5d.com and click on the natal chart analysis. Now, I just offered another tier for readings, like $99, for if you just want like a quick reading, right? But just know, if I'm reading your chart, I'm diving deep. I don't know how to do a basic reading, you know? So trust me, people that I've read in the past, I've kind of formed a relationship with you where after your reading, I kind of check back in with you just to kind of make sure you're on the track that we set for you. And that depends on what type of reading you get as well. I don't want to advertise myself here because I'm not really good at doing that, but just let me say this and get out. If you want to read in, astro5d.com. But that is my problem. I got Chiron and Gemini, so I don't advertise myself, right? And that's why you're asking me if I do readings. If I knew how to advertise myself, you would know I do readings, right? I need a fucking promoter. But yes, I do readings, and yeah, I've been reading people since what? For the past 10 plus years. But there are times where I close my books because the energy becomes too much, you know? So, yeah. Right now my books are open, but they've been closed for like 5 years, you know? So catch me while they open. But yeah, you know? So when you see somebody's chart, you're seeing their life. Oh, I like that. Oh. When you see somebody's chart, you're seeing their life, you know? And that's not to be taken lightly. So I don't know how to look at somebody's chart and just, even these new 5-minute readings that I'm offering, I'm like, you're probably going to get about 7 or 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yes. So 5D readers, you have Amber, you have Belly, and you have Nicole. They are 3 teachers from the 5D readers. They are conducting fall classes. I don't know how much they're going to be charging for the fall classes. It could be $10, it could be $15, I'm not sure. And I don't know how long I think they're going to be a month, right? So it's a month-long class that you learn about astrology, learn about your signs, the houses, the planets. If anybody's interested in that, I will get with them to see if it's going to be done on Patreon or if they're going to do it with it's probably going to be a separate Zoom link. So for people who sign up, the information will be available soon with the Zoom link. I would say get into it because I'm also going to be a student in those classes, right? So yeah, you know, I have a special place in my heart for. Have you ever read? Oh shit! Hold up now. I don't want my camera to turn too much and y'all see too much of my empty ass apartment. Let me get back to these questions because that's where I really need to see what y'all are saying. What indications to look for when it comes to twin flames? Oh, train with Pat. That's a great question. Okay. Let's see. Let me give you one main indication. Now, it depends on the other like alignments and aspects in your chart. But when you see somebody, and I just saw a friend who had this alignment with me, but I'm like, she's not my twin flame. Well, I can't really say that, but I kind of like, you know, I don't think she's my twin flame. Just like a platonic friend. So you have to know when that's why it's several indicators to look for that have to align. Like, you have to be gridlocked to know if you're in the presence in your twin flame. Like, you have to be looking for it. Of course, you can feel it. I believe most people that have decalcified pineal glands, you can feel it. But oh my God, there's a dove on my window. Oh shit. Can I turn the? No, because that's gonna give my location away. Or maybe just a really white pigeon. Oh wow. Anyway, sorry. What was I saying? Twin flames. No wonder I don't have friends. I don't know how to stay on topic. Okay. When your Junos are conjuncting each other. Especially if your Junos are conjuncting each other and they have like a trine with, like if their Juno has a trine with your Saturn, because Saturn means like, or if your Juno's in Capricorn, or if their Juno's in Capricorn conjuncting yours. But the Juno is what you want to look for. Now, the reason why I say that, there's several things that have to be gridlocked because you have to bring in fixed stars. Like there's a fixed star called Amor, there's one called Cupid, right? So there's like certain things you have to look for, but Juno's like the main one. So when your Junos are conjunct and there's like a strong aspect to Saturn, because Saturn means like we've been doing this for a while. Saturn is like lifetimes, right? This is why people who have Saturn in their first house, like, and of course this is probably biased because I got Saturn in my first house, but you are an old soul. You are an old soul, right? So Saturn denotes longevity, right? Like antique. So that's the main thing you want to look for. And depending on the house too, depending on the house. Because if you are unfortunate, I won't say unfortunate, Let me not say that, because fortune can be found in everything. If you have a difficult, that's the best way to say it. If you have a difficult placement, like having Juno in your 12th house, it's going to be really hard for you to even find out if you are in the presence of your twin flame. One second, I'm going to bring my computer over here because I don't like these commercials. These commercials are throwing me off. Okay. Those commercials was throwing me. They was probably throwing y'all off too. All right, I got some throat chakra music playing in the background. For anybody looking at my background, get out of my business. Get out of my business. Can you mention the next class coming up? I really think reading is where I'm meant to be. Oh, we can talk about that too. Like, how do you know when you're meant to be a reader? There are certain placements that I see that I'm like, yeah, you definitely should be a reader. But the next classes are going to be on Patreon, and they're coming up soon. So you might want to look out for that. I just waved at somebody. Have you ever read someone you thought you know, see the chart, and then you're like, what the hell? Mar, can you expand on that question? I love astrology, numerology, palmistry, all the things. We would be good friends, because that's what I study every day. Because numerology, astrology is numerology. Do I have like a bird, invisible bird feeder over here? Astro, why are your eyes so deep? So I'm a Scorpio rising. Thanks for not letting me distract you. I have not been to bed yet. Let me get back to all y'all. We are good friends in my mind. It's definitely a feeling, I believe. Can you have a twin flame for different seasons of your life? Do you just get one? I feel like that is a great question. Blessings, peace. Let me know if this music is too loud in the background. I'm sorry, I have to burn sage one more time. I need that feeling to come back again. 1 second. Yes, I have to do all these things daily in my life. I just switch up what I'm doing like every 2 seconds. I just got this other wand, this smudge. It's for like to increase your psychic abilities. It's a mugwort smudge. Let me get that. I want to show y'all my mugwort smudge. 1 second. So this one is to enhance your psychic abilities. It's kind of hard to light sometimes, but it's supposed to open your third eye and increase your psychic abilities. So I use this one like when I rise up out of bed, before I go to sleep. So I feel like my psychic abilities are already strong. Like I was born with strong psychic abilities, but they can always get stronger, you know? Oh, and that's another thing, y'all. Stop denying your abilities. Stop denying your abilities. You know? I just really have, right now, I just really have like the feeling is back. I get like this warm feeling when I'm doing lives, and when it goes away, like the live has to stop, but it just came back, so we're good for, I guess, a little bit longer. Because it's like, like when I do lives, I operate from like this feeling, and for me, this feeling is like a channel of like a higher entity, or like an entity around me, you know? So like I work off of this feeling I get, you know? TMI, but I just have like a special place in my heart for, yeah, Juanita. I kind of want to talk about something controversial. Maybe I'll bring it up in a second. Might trigger some people. Maybe it's too early for that. But I have to go live on Patreon with my tribe in like 30 minutes. Okay, let me get what I'm just going to say. So the reason why I started off this live talking about childhood abuse, talking about sexual abuse, like children who deal with sexual abuse, and how like it's still not talked about, and there are a lot of millennials and Gen Z, Gen X. There are a lot of people who are walking around who were sexually abused as children, and they didn't know that they were sexually abused, and they didn't know that that is a part of their story. Like, you dealt with childhood abuse that needs to be faced, and that's the reason why some of your behaviors and your trust issues, that's why things appear in your life, right? Don't invalidate your experience ever. They want you to invalidate their experience so they never have to take accountability. But the stronger you become in your identity and voicing your experiences, you really shift the responsibility and accountability back onto the party that wronged you. Okay? So that's what we started off talking about, and then we switched up the gears talking about I'm just doing a review for everybody that's just joining. Then we switched up the gears, went into talking about, being like a chosen one, being the outcast of your family, being an indigo child, being a crystal child, being a star seed, right? These are all connected. Like star seeds, you are here on, everybody's here on borrowed time, but like your set of instructions are different. People who consider themselves like indigo children, or you just like, you were born with that knowing, like, I'm different. Like, my connection to source is different. My intuition is different. I'm able to see things before they happen. My dreams are strong. Like, don't deny who you are, because the more you say like, everybody has these dreams, my intuition's not that strong, the more it goes away. But the more you start to connect with your true identity, the more you empower your personality, the more you empower your identity, right? And this is especially hard for people who don't have any Leo placements, because they're like, I don't think I deserve it, right? But the people who got all the Leo placements, they like, nah, I deserve all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why my focus, I have a special focus on your Leo. You're showing your Leo stellium golden time in the best way possible. Like, I like when people come up here and they kind of just show who they are. Like, and I love who you are. So I hope that came out right. Yeah. But your Leo stellium is showing. But I love that about you. It's difficult for people to accept who they are if they don't know who they are. So that's why this life is to remember who you are. And how do you know this game is for you to remember who you are? It's because synchronicities exist. When you go outside, that person came up to you, the random, nobody's random ever, the person that came up to you with that message that gave you the answer to the questions you had is because source energy sent that person to answer your life question. Because when you ask, right, or not, what is it, knocking, the door should be open, seeking you shall find. If you don't know the right questions to ask, you don't know the answers to look for. So knowing where you are in life, knowing what perfection house year you're in, knowing if you are currently in your Jupiter return, your Mars return, everybody knows their solar return, your Mercury return. Like, there are certain phases, ebbs and flows of life that passes by if we aren't aware that they are happening to us. So oftentimes, for people who aren't aware, life happens to you. For people who are aware, life happens for you. You see how that flips? Because nothing happens on purpose. You don't have tinnitus. You are clairaudient. I refuse to wear my corrective lenses because my sight was given to me by source. I can't see because I'm clairsentient. I'm clairsense. I love that. I love that. This is what you just gave me goosebumps, that feeling. You strengthening that feeling. Y'all see the more feedback, the connection I feel with y'all, it like strengthens this feeling that I have to work with, you know? Don't invalidate who you are. Like, if, like, there are certain, that galactic center in your chart, it shows so much. It shows so much. Because I know that there are certain people who can do certain things that they never tell people, because they think that if they told people that they can do that thing, then they would be considered, here we go, the C word, crazy. Every time somebody calls me, I never look at the caller ID, but I just know who it is. Bro, you're special. Not everybody can do that. I know when people are going to die. I see people's deaths a day before they die. You're special. Not everyone can do that. What's another one? Every time I walk into a room, no, not, let me not say that one. There's just a lot of different abilities, you know, like, and I'm just here to facilitate a meeting between you and your higher self. I'm just here to facilitate a meeting between you and your higher self. My mom told me she dreamt about family members' deaths as a child. I wonder what her Pisces placements are. I saw Trump's the morning of. Trump's sun is at 22 degrees, so he's going to leave this earth in a way that a lot of people are thinking. Because remember, I can see death in your chart too. I can do that, and sometimes I'll think about someone and they'll call. My great-grandmother also used to ask her what she dreamed about so she could play her numbers. Yo, link me. What the hell? Link me with you to connect for the lottery? Can you see people's gifts in their charts? Every time. Like if you have your moon trining, sextiling, conjuncting Mercury, yeah, you're a strong psychic, especially depending where the Mercury and the moon are, what signs they're in. There are a lot of different, but the moon and Mercury those are what I look to when we're talking about excuse me, psychic abilities. In that, the moon, Neptune, also Pluto. It's the waters. But they're different, like earth, fire, air, water, like they all have different abilities, right? So people who have like Libra, like my Libra stelliums, my Pisces stelliums, like there are certain, like, let's say if you're a Pisces stellium, it would be, wow, I see ghosts, I see spirits, I see, people, deaths in my dream, ancestors visit me in my dream. That's like, for a Pisces stellium, depending on what planets are making up the stellium, that is like second nature for them. Like, for example, let me show you how somebody's chart, like, this is a chart of Kanye West, right? And Kanye actually have some like psychic gifts because his moon is in Pisces in the 9th house. The 9th house is a house of God. Let me just say this. When you're looking at a chart, I'm like in a beanbag chair, so I gotta get comfortable. When you're looking at a chart, there are certain placements that I look for. Moon opposing Mercury. you're gonna have to do some work to bring in those. You're gonna have to do some work to bring in those psychic abilities if your moon is opposing Mercury. But if your moon is trining or sextiling with Neptune, then that will help you with your moon opposing Mercury. So, if I have somebody who has their 9th house, 10th house, or 11th house filled, sometimes even their 8th house, because the 8th house is like the deep, like the hidden. They can really see under the veil. But usually when I see somebody who has their sun in the 9th house, their sun in the 10th house, or Mercury or Mars or even Neptune. Neptune is the biggest one. If you got Neptune in the 10th house and you're not in Hollywood, then there are probably some things in your chart that are blocking you. Or not in Hollywood. Let me not say Hollywood, because Hollywood is foul. If you're not in entertainment, let me just say that. If you're not some type of creative, right? Because Neptune is the planet of like the arts, like music, songs, like dancing, acting, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Leo. Like if you have Neptune and Leo, and you not in the entertainment industry, you fucked up bad in life somewhere. Because it's hard to have Neptune and Leo and not end up in the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, somewhere along the way, you kind of messed up. Anyway, or not messed up, but you stayed in your lower frequency for your entire life. So you got the lowest results. But Kanye is actually bigger overseas than he is here, and y'all are seeing that now because his Neptune is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has to deal with foreign lands, right? And so the reason why a lot of people are focusing on Kanye West right now is because he's going through his Jupiter return. Why do I say Jupiter like that? Because he's going through his Jupiter return. Right? So right now the attention is on him. The focus is on him. But also, he has Mars so close to his ascendant at 18th degree. So I'm just like, y'all keep Kanye in your prayers, bro. For real. And his North Node is at the 22nd degree. So I will say, the way Kanye is going to leave this life, even the way Beyonce is going to leave this life, it's going to be tragic. It's going to be tragic. I can even tell you how, but we're not going to do that. Because I'm pretty sure that's like some type of, I don't know. I have to consent, like, hey, do you want me to put online how you're going to die? If they're not dead yet, If they're already passed, and I can tell you how they passed, of course, because everybody knows in the news, but I will show you in their chart. This is why what happened to them. This is because they were gridlocked. You couldn't escape that. We broke down Rich Homie Quan's chart in class last week, and we saw in his chart his death. You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't escape it. Sometimes you just can't escape death. It's your time to leave. Your body is borrowed. You have to get back the rental. Make sure you gave it back in the same condition you borrowed it in. My jokes are funny to me. I don't know. Okay, so let me just say, I don't know why I'm on Kanye's chart right now. Something's telling me to be on his chart. Like, this eclipse is let's just say, I hope that Kanye West makes it through this eclipse season. Because his placements are going to be tough, y'all. Tough. Wait, let me see where Vesta is. Tough. I'm so grateful for the badge. Sometimes I get out of here when I'm like, $0, and it's like, did they really like what I say? Because I know when I'm in a live and I like what they say, I buy them a badge. So I'm grateful for the badge. I truly, I got Palace and Gemini. I see everything. I notice everything, and that's part of my gift and my curse. I notice every fucking thing. it's impossible for me to not notice something. So if somebody's in a chat, even if I say like, hey, I'm not reading y'all comments, 9 times out of 10 I saw the comment, but I just didn't acknowledge it. You know, so I appreciate, trust me, I appreciate the badge. I could have just said that. That was like a long ass explanation. Anyway, Beyonce's chart too. Beyonce, she don't leave this life. Yikes. Yikes. And she's about to go through some shit, boy, this year. Anyway, let me stay focused. Let me just say that I did the synastry on Jay-Z and Aaliyah, and I really hope the truth comes out. Gratitude for the badge. I really hope the truth comes out, because I did the synastry on Jay-Z and Aaliyah, and I really know what happened, and I hope that truth comes out. Astrology never lies. Synastry never lies, ever. And the reason why I'm saying synastry never lies is because this pigeon is doing his mating dance, but he's trying to get some action. Anyway, let me focus. Because oftentimes when I see, is this a threesome? We got 3 birds up here trying to get. Anyway, gratitude. Oh, Mar, you know you the homie. I appreciate the badge. You know, there are a few of you who, like, we contact each other on, like, sometimes it's apparent when somebody's in your life and they are not just a cameo. So there are a few of you who, like, when you reach out to me and you're reaching out to me in a genuine way and you're not just, like, trying to, you know, like, people who reach out to me in a genuine way, I really appreciate that. And then we become friends. Like, that's how people become friends in real life, you know? And I am a big proponent of not being too cool for school. And I used to be the kid in school writing the letters like, hey, do you want to go out with me? Because I want a direct answer, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I appreciate the direct approach when making friends in life, you know? Like, I don't care if I'm 80. I'm going to be like, do you want to be my friend? I like the way you do those things. I think we'd be really good friends. Like, sometimes people get in a phase in life where, like, they don't think like that. But I'm always going to think like that. So when I see something in people and when I appreciate something in people, I'm always like, hey, I appreciate you. Or, like, I always do my best to be a good friend because I don't have leave replacements. So sometimes I forget that I have friends, you know? I just don't put enough attention into it. But anyway, this isn't about me. So, for people who are wondering, will I make a great astrologer? Let me give you some things to look out for. If you have Pallas, Athena, and Aquarius, if you have Uranus and Sagittarius, if you have Pallas and Sagittarius, if you have Mercury, if you're a Mercury ascendant, Virgo ascendant, if you have Mercury in your first house, Mercury in Aquarius, Mercury's trining, like Mercury, a harmonious aspect to Pallas, Mercury, a harmonious aspect to Neptune, like psychics make good astrologers, because when you're reading a chart, like, I want to say 60% of it is technique and skill, 40% of it is intuition, psychic abilities. So when I'm reading a chart, like, I read first and then I listen for my guidance that's always around me. I listen for them to speak to me, you know, and I don't believe I sound crazy when I say this, or like crazy, because I believe talking to yourself is healthy, because you have, whether you know it or not, y'all, you have people. My computer almost fell. You have ancestors, you have invisible forces around you at all times. And you know when you're walking down the street and something tells you, hey, you're going the wrong way. That's your invisible team, you know? Like when you incarnate, you have an invisible team that's signed on to you. All right? Especially, let's go back to what I said earlier, if you have, I'm stimming right now. I'm stimming because, like, anyway, if you have the sun in your 10th house or your 9th house, listen, and again, I'm being biased. Actually, I'm not being biased, but I'm speaking on this placement because I have it and I see other people that have it. And they call the 9th house the house of God for a reason. And when Hermes Trismegistus drew up the 12 house system, the 9th house was designated the house of God, and the 10th house is the closest to the midheaven. The reason why it's called midheaven is because it's the closest point to heaven. That starts your 10th house. That's how other people perceive you. So having your sun in your 9th house or your 10th house, you are literally, that means having your identity, like your, having your avatar identity connected to source, connected to the heavens. All right? So again, like there are certain placements that are rare that I see that I'm like, maybe I should spend some more time with this person because they don't see who they are yet, especially depending on where your Saturn is, because Saturn will delay you understanding an area of your life until you're about 40 years old. So depending wherever Saturn is in your house, you're going to have a hard time understanding that portion of your life until you're around, hopefully after your Saturn return. And if you don't get it after your Saturn return, then it will become apparent, hopefully, to you when you're 40 years old. You know? So, what I just told you, imagine having that connected to your ascendant. Brittany, that's like we have that rare placement of having Saturn in your first house. So Brittany, you get me, I get you. Like you truly won't even understand how your body operates until you're like 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? So if you have Saturn in your first house, you're like, oh, okay. So if I move this elbow, it does this. I mean, not quite literally like that, but you won't really understand certain things about your body or why you do certain things until you're like 40. So you, like, sometimes you don't even know the things that you do that push other people away because you don't understand them yet if you have Saturn in your first house, or you've been put in a lot of situations where you had to understand them. So you dealt with abandonment because Saturn opposes your 7th house if you have Saturn in your first house, right? It opposes your interpersonal skills. So your ability to connect with other people is hampered from a young age because you have Saturn opposing your 7th house. So building those interpersonal skills, like, it can be so tough, man. I have Uranus and Sag. Train with Pat. Uranus and Sag, that is a blessed placement. You got the power of the mind fusing with the power of the mind. Sagittarius, higher learning. Sagittarius is our area of where we will become proficient, right? Because again, it's ordained. by source. It's the house of God. I talk to myself all day. I have multiple voices in my head. Then which Claire do you think that would make you? Because when you go to the hospital, they will ask you like, hey, do you have voices in your head? And then they have you see how the system will have you deny yourself, right? And you say no because you don't want them to put you in a big house. I've been held against my will, right? That's where they diagnosed me as being like a neurodivergent. I won't tell you bipolar. I'm probably more like autistic than bipolar, to be completely honest, if I had to be anything. But they diagnosed me as bipolar. And that's a way of them having me deny spiritual gifts that their minds can't understand. So usually when they can't understand your spiritual gifts, they give that a human term that disconnects you from those gifts. So you're thinking like, oh, I'm bipolar. Oh, I have high anxiety. And that disconnects you from your ability to, oh, so when I do this, the fireworks go off. Got you. What I'm saying is fired. How come I didn't do it? Anyway, what the hell? So, yeah, they'll tell you, like, they'll give you these names and they'll tell you, like, oh, I'm bipolar and all this stuff. And then you won't want to connect with your gifts because you'll think, like, oh, the more that I try to connect with these gifts, the crazier I'll become. Boy, if you don't stop playing yourself, no. The reason why there's an ability to where you can look at a photo, and from that photo you can tell, like, you know somebody's life story, you know health problems that they have, right? That's a gift. Like, so clairaudient, clairsentient, clairtangent, like these clairvoyant, these are gifts of the soul that people are born with. And yes, you can see that in the chart. These are that people are born with, but usually when you don't understand, you let man tell you what you're dealing with, and then that helps you to disconnect it to yourself. All right, so I just said the same thing like 5 times. All right, and so what does that mean is we need to find a framework of rethinking about our gifts and who we are. I need to scroll down. So Saturn in the 4th house. Saturn in the 4th house brings in about heavy discipline from your family, right? Saturn in the 4th, heavy discipline from your family, really learning, going through these trials and tribulations with your family to truly understand your lineage and where you come from. That's definitely Saturn in the 4th, right? You have a hard time with building yourself. You have a hard time with building your... Oh shit, y'all, I'm late. I'm supposed to be live on Patreon right now. Let me message them and tell them I will be running late. Because I really like this connection that we have in. And my Patreon people, they've been late for the past week, so they're gonna understand. They've been showing up late to class, and they didn't even show up for the last film night. So I'm a little upset that they didn't show up for the last film night. So oh, do people still have pen pals? Is that still a thing? Is that still a thing? Like, I got Venus in Gemini, so like I love writing like letters. I want a pen pal. Sorry, I'm like, let me stay focused. I just told him I'm still on Instagram. So yeah, like, I have a special place in my heart for people who identify as like bipolar, ADHD. What's another one? Borderline personality disorder. I think the biggest misunderstood one is schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is there's different levels of schizophrenia. There are a lot of sometimes people are possessed, right, by parasites, and that has them in a whole different realm. But there are some people who are like you could consider Einstein to be borderline schizophrenia because there has been a link between being a genius, genius, whatever the fuck that means. How do you consider somebody? Anyway, there is a link between being like quote unquote a genius and having like your mind like just in a space where you see the world differently. And people who consider themselves like like autistic, attention deficit hyper disorder, whatever, attention deficit disorder, bipolar disorder, like all of these things, this is man not understanding what source is ordaining you to do. So oftentimes people who are clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, one second, I have to burn this stuff again so I can get my feeling back. 1 second. Oh, my legs. They're not the same as they used to be. Get your little psychic ability going on there. Side note, for anybody who wants to, damn, I'm doing this live for damn near almost 3 hours, y'all. Almost 3 hours. Still watching. Oh, Tara, you in here? Oh, blessings, Tara. Still watching. Belly, you in here? Blessings, Belly. All right now. So the tribe is in here. Cool. So I feel like we are in a time where the power is being transferred. I won't say power. The worldview is being transferred. Like for the next 20 years, y'all, what we're talking about right now, like declares, like it's going to be like second nature in the next 20 years because Aquarius energy is otherworldly. Aquarius energy is extraterrestrial, literally. Aquarius energy is mental, right? First mental is Gemini, second mental is Libra, third mental is Aquarius. Some people might say it's the highest mental. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Modern day times is ruled by Uranus, right? Saturn has two sides to him. He rules Capricorn, rules Aquarius. So Aquarius is this. Aquarius is like ancient energy. Aquarius is like the knowing, right? Aquarius, do you know that having your sun as an Aquarius is one of the most, like, it's the rarest out of all of the zodiacs. It's the rarest to be born in Aquarius sun. I would even argue an Aquarius rising. The most intuitive is Cancer. Right? are moving in a time where Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years. So not only will, so two things are happening. You can say that we are in a golden age. And for the next 20 years, you're going to see things that you quite literally have never seen before. Now, I haven't done this research yet, but I'm getting this download, and usually my downloads are right. I don't want to sound arrogant. I hope that doesn't sound arrogant or anything, but I'm just speaking the truth. Because my downloads turn into the lectures y'all see. So the reason why I would go like a week or 2 weeks without posting video is because I wait for a source to tell me what to post. If I don't know what to post, I don't post, because then I'm just making filler content, right? And that's not what y'all came here for. So my videos are downloads that go straight to the video. Okay, so what I'm being told now is that if you were to do your research during the time of the Industrial Revolution, you would see that there were a bunch of psychics that were popping up. There were a bunch of clairvoyant people that were popping up. There were a bunch of, mediums. Like, I can almost guarantee you, because my source is a source, right? I can guarantee you, Sun in 9th house, that yeah, if you were to look during that time, matter of fact, when was the Salem witch trials? Salem witch trials were 1693. So if you minus, sorry y'all, let me do some calculations. Because usually, like, y'all are seeing a live download, like, in the flesh, like, in real time. So I just got to test to make sure this download is accurate. I just got to do a calculation. 1 second. So that is a, oh, gratitude for the badge. I don't know if I already thanked you for that. Gratitude. That is a separation of 67 years, right? So if you look to what was happening prior to the Industrial Revolution, then you had an influx of, like, the Salem witch trials was only one example, and that happened before the Industrial Revolution, before they burned everything down. So you had witches, psychics, mediums happening before the Industrial Revolution, okay? So you had an influx of all these people happening right before Pluto went fully into Aquarius. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, that sparked the Industrial Revolution. And I guarantee you, during this time, you had all of these psychic mediums that were coming out in the field. What's happening now? Pluto is coming back into Aquarius. How many years was that? That's 264 years since Pluto has been in Aquarius. So you are alive during the most rarest times. Like, being alive now during this 20-year window, you are literally, lessons, Amber, you are literally experiencing a rare timeline in life. Let me go back to reading y'all questions because I didn't see some of them. I would just pretend like I didn't see a lot of them. Clairsentient for sure, because I've always had the knowing since a child, but always clairaudience because I can hear very well. The ringing in the ears. Yes, everybody gets the ringing, but there are some people who you've been able to tell, like, an ancestor is here. Or like if I'm talking to somebody, you can ask people who talk to me often. If I'm conversing with you, and I'll just shut up mid-sentence because source is speaking, or my ancestor has something to tell me. You know, that's obedience. I feel like that's why I don't have perfect eyesight, because my hearing and other senses are heightened. Ooh. It's almost the same as when a blind person has their hearing enhanced. You're right, there is definitely something to that. ADHD. Were you telling me I have ADHD? I'm probably, what do you call it? Odd HD, like autism and ADHD. Then I'm just giving man's labels on my, on my gifts. But the reason why people like with gifts call them like, say like, oh, I identify with being autistic, because sometimes that's the only way that people will understand, But if I'm out here just acting all these type of ways and people are like, is he okay? Is he normal? And then they're saying, no, he's autistic. Then it gives the human a window, a box to put my actions in. Oh, that's why he talks to me. That's why he acts so quirky, because he's autistic. So usually you can let them live with that label if it gives them a foundation to understand your actions. Hello. People can see the aura around people. Not everybody. Oh shit, y'all! I'm so far up in these comments. I just thought Amber joined twice. I'm like, didn't you already join? I'm so far up in these comments. Hold up. Oh my god. Can we remake that a thing? Can we remake what a thing? I definitely write you. Y'all, I run pen pals. Matter of fact, I have one pen pal in St. Martinique. Her name's Taima, and I still haven't written her a letter yet. Yeah, you just remind me. I gotta write Taima a letter today. But I like pen pals, like people you can write letters to. So, hey, what's up? I don't know, it's Tuesday. I don't know. I like writing letters. I have a cute personality just because, like, when you're 70 years old, right? Imagine opening those letters saying, like, oh, that's so dope that I have this human connection, like, with this other human. Like, we wrote in cursive and we were, like, the best of friends. And that connection can be taken to another life. And then y'all saying, like, oh, this is my soulmate. That's your soulmate because y'all have such a strong connection in the previous life. And y'all decided to, do this next life together. And I truly believe that sometimes when your connection is so strong with somebody, like inseparable, you can end up being born as twins. That's a whole nother topic, but twins is like, I feel like a phenomenon that really needs to be unpacked. There's a reason why back in the day, they used to hold the most obscene practices on twins, like to kind of figure out like why are twins being born and how can we make more of them be born. There was a whole experiment. Twins are fascinating. I have a cute personality. Can you explain what that is, a cute personality disorder? Oh shit. Oh, I need to go down these comments. Lena, gratitude for both. Oh, for 2 badges? I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for y'all. So you save your lives? Yeah, I put them on YouTube. Matter of fact, I still have to put the last one I did on YouTube. Hi, Sadie. Hi, so Sadie. Oops. I'm not making fun of anybody with the accent. I'm sorry. I'll make sure to put them on YouTube. Absolutely, one day in a bath, I literally heard ancestors' voice, water in the conduit for spirit. Ooh. Use more soap.